There we go. There we go. All right. Matt Medved, co-founder, CEO, editor-in-chief, Now Media. You know us for NFT Now, The Gateway, and Sovereignty. I'm excited about this panel. This is going to be a really great chat. We're going to dive into, all things Boosty Labs and where you've been, where you're going, et cetera. Before we kick into it, why don't we just do like some really quick, brief intros, just kind of bounce around for those who weren't here earlier, didn't know. Then we could dive into it.
Awesome. Vitalii, you want to go first? Okay, my name is David Cash. I am currently the CMO at Boosty Labs, and I work across Boosty Group, all of their own products, including Rudesdex, which is right over there. You can go chat with Eric, our director of product. My background originally was in traditional media. I ran a production company for 7 years. Before that, I was a child actor. And I got crypto-pilled in 2014 in the Silk Road days of Bitcoin. I won't go into any more detail. But then fell deeper down the rabbit hole in 2019 when I minted my first NFT. One thing led to another. Pandemic happened. I ended up writing the first master's thesis on NFTs. All of a sudden had a bunch of client offers, started an agency, built that over the course of 4 years, and now am with Boosty building the future of the ecosystem, as Boosty has been around for even longer, over 8 years in the space. Our founder, Victor Ignatiuk, is the gentleman who co-wrote the Storj white paper with Vitalik Buterin and has genuinely been in the space since like 2014, 2015, actively building. So super, super bullish on Boosty. Really excited to continue to kind of develop in the ecosystem, and it's really full circle to be back on Bitcoin, especially here at BTC Denver. Really excited to be here, and I'll pass it over to you, Vitalii.
Yes, thank you, David. Yeah, I'm Vitalii Yatskiv. I'm the Deputy CEO and CEO of Boosty Labs. I was CTO in Boosty Labs for 1.5 years and moved to the more operational position. Like, my background is development. I started in 2016, started from the private blockchain, Hyperledger. After that was pioneer of the gaming ecosystem with NFT gaming in EOS, in Wax, in Flow, accidentally in Ethereum. After that, in 2019, I decided to move more on the consultancy side. I consulted Web to enterprises on the Web3 adoption. I used to work for the huge outsource company SoftServe as the head of blockchain department, help enterprises get better Web3 adoption. And I joined Boosty 2.5 years ago, and I'm really excited to go and work with our team.
I love it. I love it. I did not know you were a child actor, actually. That's a new detail.
Surprise.
Makes a lot of sense, right? No, I love it. One thing that's interesting is I think, Bitcoin was my entry point into crypto. And it sounds like I think it was for almost everyone on this stage, right? Everyone here, right? And so that's really interesting because it feels like, like you said, full circle. Coming back to Bitcoin and like builder culture growing on Bitcoin. I'd just love to hear from each of you, like, what was kind of like your origin story with Bitcoin? How did you first you discover it, get into it?
It's really funny because I didn't enter blockchain from Bitcoin.
Okay.
I entered blockchain from the Hyperledger. After that, it was EOS.
Okay.
I dipped into Bitcoin first time on 2018 by using BTC Core library, understand what it is, get testnet tokens. After that, understood, okay, Bitcoin, it's not just a coin, because at that time, when everybody was bullish about the smart contracts, ETCs, potential financial adoption, Bitcoin stuck because there was no really a lot like L2 solutions or the programmable layers on the Bitcoin 2018, 2019. But I'm really bullish what happened in Bitcoin for last 4 years. We have ordinals, we have ERC20, we have runes, we have protocols like Glitter, like Arc, which helps us really do good stuff on the Bitcoin L1. And I'm really bullish about what we will see in Bitcoin in the next 3-5 years, because quantum computing comes to us, and only Bitcoin is prepared for post-quantum encryption and decryption.
Yeah. Only Bitcoin can save us.
What was your entry point as well?
Well, it's funny because I mentioned, again, I'll try to minimize the details, but I entered Bitcoin when I was in high school in the Silk Road days. I mean, that's how anybody in Toronto bought their first. I still have my first fake ID I bought with Bitcoin. I mean, that I can say. Pretty, admittedly, I still have it. I'm going to put that in a museum somewhere at some point. I bought that in 2014. If I kept the Bitcoin instead of spending it on fake IDs and other substances, I think I'd be way better off than I am now, but that's neither here nor there. But fell in love with it from both that perspective, and then also I was really into like the Anon thing when that was going on in the early days. Was very like anti-government and all of those things, you know, originally. Now we work with governments, we come very full circle. From there, I was always holding and I was always involved, but I didn't really fall back down the crypto rabbit hole until 2019. And honestly, I got into DeFi through NFTs completely by accident. I was doing photography when I was running my production company. I had an account with Getty Images and we were doing some Getty projects. And the people at Maker's Place were reaching out to Getty Images photographers saying, hey, you should tokenize your photography on the blockchain. I had no idea what they were talking about. I was like, is that Bitcoin? They're like, no. I'm like, and so did that. Fast forward a year and realized what it is that I did. Started buying NFTs, started getting really involved in the space, fell deep down the rabbit hole, literally read every single thing on the internet and amalgamated it into a thesis. And now again, it's cool to go from Bitcoin to DeFi and now to BTC-Fi.
That's right.
To DeFi on Bitcoin, and also equally bullish on ordinals and runes. And just my 2 cents, I think when I actually started consuming Casey's content and reading his blog and understanding the whole idea of etching or inscribing, it really made me a lot more bullish on NFTs and just content on chain again, because when I was writing my thesis and when I was originally getting excited about DeFi and also NFTs specifically, the most exciting thing for me was the immutability and the fact that you could take something intangible or ephemeral, like a dance or art or a live performance or something like this, and tokenize it on the blockchain and let it live forever. Shout out people like Anya and Deja and Operator who are still doing incredible stuff with that today. But once I came to realize that a lot of this data is not actually stored on chain, it's just stored on servers, and that we have all this data being stored on AWS or even less reliable systems, it kind of made me a little bit disillusioned with the space. And once I started getting back into ordinals and into BRC20 and runes and this whole ecosystem, I kind of fell back in love with this whole original idea, the fact that you can inscribe data on a Satoshi and actually have this there, ephemerally exist on chain forever. That made me bullish again, and it really got me, not that I ever left the space. I've been working in the space for the past 4 years pretty consistently. Never left, but at the same time, I think renewed confidence and faith and excitement in the ecosystem.
I love that. Well, let's dive into Boosty. Like let's hear a little bit. Like, what's the mission? What's the vision? Behind Boosty. Like, what is sort of like that North Star for Boosty?
Yeah, when Boosty was started, we just started as a service company for that time biggest blockchain project called Storj, the first distributed storage. Like on 2017, it was much bigger than Ethereum. Yeah, we contributed there like 65% of their Git repository, and on 2019, Victor thought like, okay, we're doing like the most incredible product in Web3 space for that time. Why we're not will provide services for other? And it started like not only Storj business, but real outsourced business of Boosty Labs. On 2021 was the next decision, like we're building for best players on the market. Consensys, Ledger, that time was Neo, NEM, Animoca bands, and we're building like $1 million costs for our clients. It's huge revenues by our products. Why we'll not start our own products? And it was how created Boosty Studio, now Storj XYZ. And like the very first product of the studio was Streamed Network, which is the new approach for the Lightning Network. Our developer just went out the way how to do staking in Lightning Network, and it starts liquid staking derivatives product with derivatives on the Ethereum for the Bitcoin Lightning, just before all this like new generation of RGB story etc. Our current like mission of the Boosty is bring Web3 technology to the world. We try to do the Web3 more safe place by delivering very proper, secured, and good solutions for our customers, because Boosty is not just dev shop. We are really good consultants for our clients because with our 8 years experience, we know what works, what doesn't work on industry, and what gaps our clients could face in the future. So we are going to bring Web3 to the Web2 world and to bring to the Web3 communities the best what they deserve.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I mean, I came across the Boosty team for the first time tangibly in person. I was definitely familiar with many of their products, our products, around Nashville last year when we were together at Bitcoin Nashville. Shout out Bitcoin Nashville, Bitcoin Magazine. And I met Victor. Victor's one of these crazy, enigmatic guys, as Vitalii said. You know, he's a complete OG in the space. You fall in love with him almost instantly. But really, once I started realizing the extent to which Boosty has really white-labeled such a large amount of the infrastructure that the space has, like they white-label built the Aura blockchain consortium for Consensys. You know, they white-label built Singapore's DID system on-chain for Bloom, which was then acquired by Temasek, which was now this is the every single Singaporean government ID is stored on-chain, and this was a solution created by Boosty. You know, just some of these massive, massive projects that just, you know, completely change the infrastructure of the ecosystem. It's really cool to be able to work with and evangelize, you know, a group of people where I can say very confidently that, you know, when people say, what's your specialty? What blockchain do you guys work with? I can literally say every single one and at the highest level. Because these guys, you know, we have over 180 devs, like top blockchain engineers who work across ecosystems, across projects. And it's a pretty unique opportunity to be able to just say, you know, with a completely straight face, completely believing in what I'm saying, that yes, we can do it no matter what it is, whether it's been thought of before or not. Doesn't matter if you're a brand new L1 that wants to be integrated into something. The team you know, trains themselves in a very, very rapid period of time and makes that happen and continues to, you know, research and really be involved with the ecosystem as it grows, onboarding really talented Web2 devs into Web3, you know, upskilling Web3 devs into new ecosystems. I think we're actually one of the houses with the most Bitcoin-specific blockchain developers right now, especially at a senior level, who are actually able to code and build. And you know, since they are an outstaffing solution as well and do staff augmentation, which is an interesting term, which not a lot of people use, but if you do use it, you're probably pretty thankful that it exists. Boosty works with a lot of folks, Ledger included, Paraswap, many of these different guys, to help them build out their teams when they need, you know, just you know, one dev, 1.5 devs, a dev for 3 months to build out a specific feature. You know, that's actually possible with a group like Boosty. So yeah, I'm really bullish on Boosty and more bullish on the ecosystem that Boosty is allowed to be built.
Well, let's talk a bit about that ecosystem. You know, I feel like we're at a really interesting juncture, right? Regulatory clarity coming in the United States finally, you know, with the new administration. Obviously, like kind of a funny time in the markets, but you know, that's to be expected, you know, in mid-cycle, et cetera. But like one thing that I noticed, you know, I was just out at NFT Paris and a lot of excitement around the Bitcoin ecosystem, around Bitcoin L2s, Bitcoin DeFi, of course, around the Ordinals community. And I'm curious, like, what are you seeing in that space? And like, what do you think are like the key areas of opportunity? And what do you also think are like the biggest challenges facing, like bringing this to like the next level?
Yeah. If we speak about like the Bitcoin scaling, yes, we have a lot of different L2s. But from our perspective, currently, like all players try to compete on the same manner. And some players have to decide and choose the direction. I think in like 2-3 years, when L2 Bitcoin market will be more stable, because really we can say that all Bitcoin L2s are startups for now. And in 2-3 years, we will see the same as in Cosmos ecosystem, where we have like Cosmos networks just for RWAs, Cosmos network just for the, I don't know, metal tokenization. We have like that, yes, gaming network, etc. And I think we will see the same on the Bitcoin space, where every L2 will have their proven market fit, their exactly unique audience. Yes, this audience will be particularly same because we're in Web3, we are playing games, we are like collecting NFTs, but in the same time we can buy houses, yeah. And Bitcoin space, biggest challenge for my opinion, it's scaling, because like average 12 minutes block, impossible for the real use cases. Time to time you have to wait 75 minutes. No, it's not the enterprise grade solutions, but to get like more money, more interest, we have to onboard enterprises for retail products. L2s have with it, but I think the beauty of Bitcoin is the security. So in future we will see that most of the blockchains in the space will have the Bitcoin finality, but very fast execution on the L2s. Even maybe we will see the Ethereum will choose Bitcoin for the finality because like post-quantum world is coming to us, and Ethereum is not prepared for it because very fast and level secure. Everybody spoke about the potential explosion of the Satoshi Nakamoto wallet. Yes, I think after NVIDIA chip release, there was a lot of topics on this, but nobody speak about the potential exploit of the every address in BNB, in Ethereum, in Solana, and we will see.
Just to add one point, because I mean Vitalii summarized it very well. I think that there's a lot of very distinct communities, and I think to reach a point of mainstream adoption, we kind of have to all coalesce and join forces and come together, because we have the Bitcoin OG maxis who are some of which are open now, and some of which are probably in this room, some of which are open now to BTC-Fi, to building on Bitcoin, to scaling Bitcoin, and some of them still call themselves maxis, which I appreciate. Then you also have the DeFi crowd, maybe some of the NFT crowd that have made their way into the Bitcoin ecosystem, whether it's through ordinals, whether it's through runes, whether it's just through their interest in what's happening now in the ecosystem. And then you have people who are joining for the very first time, always, you know. The number one cryptocurrency that people buy for the first time is Bitcoin for a reason. It's the most spoken about asset within the space. And you know, we still have grandparents and moms and dads and kids all over the world buying Bitcoin for the first time and actually asking the question, which we've all asked ourselves at some point in time, what do I do with this? And you know, even back in the day, you know, in the early days of Bitcoin, everybody was just talking about use cases. I don't need to tell this crowd about the whole pizza story. You know, that's not the audience. But you know, we've always been looking for more and more use cases for Bitcoin. And as we continue to see the ecosystem evolve, and as we start to see institutions adopting at scale on other chains, and I mean, we can all speak to this. I think, you know, seeing Ethereum blow up and then seeing Polygon and you know, Flow and Stellar and all these different ecosystems emerge that each have their own path towards institutional adoption. Hedera, all these different projects who are each, you know, pushing the path forwards in terms of how we can scale this en masse. I'm personally really bullish as well on the scaling Bitcoin ecosystem, both the UTXO, you know, L1 kind of transaction scaling, Lightning, but also a lot of the L2s, and seeing, you know, products like Arch as well. We're very bullish on, and RunesDex is just announced recently a partnership with them as well, because we really do want to see how this space can evolve, how it can scale, and just to echo Vitali's point, you know, you can't really explain to your grandmother why it took an hour for her money to go from one wallet to her phone. You know, it doesn't make sense to her. So yeah, hopefully some of those problems erase themselves as we continue to mature into this DeFi on Bitcoin.
For sure. One last question before we wrap. What's next for Boosty? Like, what do you got coming up? What should people be aware of? What's the year gonna hold for the new horizon?
Yeah, like we're a service company. Yeah, always service company is about money. So last year we grew twice. This year the plan to grow twice again, but this is different twice. Like our goal now is to build more sustainable business with more adoption of the enterprises in our company. We started work and consult a lot of enterprises for last year with huge names like Accenture, PwC, British American Tobacco, SFML, Japanese bank. And we're really bullish about that big companies are starting to understand the value of the Bitcoin, the value of the blockchain itself. Because Bitcoin ETFs ramp up the new interest from industry. Like I have a friend in Ernst Young, and Ernst Young cut all budgets for the blockchain development after sync with Polygon. I think everybody know it. And by 3 days after Bitcoin ETF release, they ramp up whole financial team to review the budgeting, to ramp up their activities in the blockchain space. And it's really bullish because when Big Four starts to work on the blockchain, everybody have to start.
Yeah, and just to wrap it up, you know, I've watched Boosty build before I joined officially and now as well, and how it's scaled over the past year has been really amazing, especially considering we're in a bear market. Seeing the amount of projects that we're able to work with across industries, across verticals, Web 2, Web 3 beyond, and integrate these types of Web3 solutions. To me, it's super bullish. On the roadmap for this year, as Vitalii mentioned, scaling from like a 60-person company to about a 150-person company, and then doubling that again is a really different beast and is a different animal. And so that's why I've joined. That's why we have people like Eric, our product officer of some of our owned companies, and really just expanding the capacity of the team and capabilities, and moving into a world where we can pop up at events. Last year we went to 28 events, but we didn't host any of our own. So really want to start moving in that direction and be able to work directly with our partners and build and grow. And I think even this event, right now it's a little bit not the most people are here at the moment, but every single person in the room right now is somebody that we want to talk to. We hope you want to speak to each other, and we want to continue to build the community of builders, investors, angels, creators within this economy. And we really hope that we can be one of those connection points to facilitate that. So, and then just doing my job, head over to boostylabs.com if you want to check out more about us, and you can follow us on social media at Boosty Labs.
I love it. I love it. Well, still many many more than Andreas Antonopoulos spoke to in those famous early days, right? No, I love it. Guys, give it up for David and Vitalii.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
And now, I know that we were running a little bit behind, but I'm actually going to go ahead and bring our next panel up on the stage. We have a very exciting one from my perspective.